It took a few minutes for the line to connect, but we are here again at Petroma Therapy, and we would like to say Guten Tag to our friends Lydia and Manuel in Germany. Hello to Karen in Wisconsin. She's a new subscriber, I think. Johnny John in Houston, Texas was my former student many moons ago. Now he's become a man. He's a philosopher gentleman and just a really great person. Also a shout out to Michael in Albuquerque and to Train Man Mark in around the Great Lakes. Was there anyone else you wanted to say hello to?
I apologize. I would like to say selfish is all.
Yes, I sometimes feel like a selfish sailfish.
Do you like how it sounds? Selfish?
Well, it just sounds like
selfish made Celsius.
In Celsius, yes, the Celsius reading today. The Celsius reading today in Dallas is going to be 46.111 or 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So I have decided to flip night and day. I will sleep during the late afternoon and early evening when it's hotter than blazes, and I will wake up in the middle of the night and do things like eat ice cream and do some wash and record episodes of Petroma Therapy. So we all do what we got to do. And the picture on our cover shot, it's black and white, shows two men seated at a cafe or a restaurant or a little pub. What did you think about that cover shot?
Well, I'm sure that's a setup. So that, the photo, the picture is what they call it when they thought it all over ahead of time, for the movie. Was there?
You mean like it was staged or it was photoshopped?
Yes, exactly that. Because if that was in real life, they wouldn't be able to drink that much beer in one seat. How much was it? I think I'm not sure how many that in pounds would be, in ounces. Is that how you operate in ounces, right? Because in metric system, we use liters. Gallons. You use gallons.
No. A gallon is for gasoline. In Texas, we just say, bring me a tall boy. Bring me a
gallon of beer.
No one ever says a gallon. You get milk in a gallon and you get gasoline in a gallon. But
no beer? I didn't know that.
No one would ever say, give me a gallon of beer. They would think you're some kind of foreigner.
But if you're coming from Kentucky and say that, give me a gallon of beer, would I be considered a foreigner?
No. Americans use gallons for gasoline, or give me a half gallon of milk. For example, We have a subscriber, Jaredon, who sometimes is holding a fox. He is a philosopher truck driver. You may wonder, why is he holding a fox? This is not staged. This is a fox who came in from the woods and wanted to live in Jaredon's house. And Jaredon said, why not? Because Jaredon is a man who is a very deep thinker, and he welcomes all animals into his home. But he's from the United States, and also Mark Stevens is from the United States, and so is David Anton and Karen. All these people are Americans, and they would say, you might say, I'd like a pint of beer, or, let me have a large one, or, no, I want a flight of beers. A flight means little small beers to sample 5 in a row. Have you ever had a flight of beers?
No, never. That's why I'm surprised. Because had I ever heard that, I wouldn't be asking questions, had I?
Well, maybe you should just go into a pub and say, I'd like a flight. And they'd say, well, go to the airport.
No, never, ever. Even never read that, never heard that. That's interesting.
Actually, I first learned about the flight of beers. I was up in Portland, Oregon, which is one of the beer capitals of the United States. They have so many independent brewers and fabulous places to drink beer. I mean, the only thing they do in Portland is ride bicycles and drink beer and go parasailing and climb mountains. Like when I went to Portland the first time, I thought I had arrived in paradise. It was amazing. But I went out with my daughter and we went to this brewery. Well, actually, she was on her way to a wedding and she thought she'd drop me off for a couple hours someplace. And there was this beautiful brewery that overlooked a river, and it had like a restaurant in it, a place you could go shopping. So she knew that I wanted to buy some T-shirts to bring back to Texas. I would love to eat lunch. I like to like putter around and take pictures. So she thought she'd just drop me off at this brewery. I think it was like Hood River or Full Sail was the name of it. So I wandered out onto the patio and saw all these people sailing boats. I mean, Portland is paradise. And then later when she came back to pick me up, she decided she'd have a beer. And I just am used to ordering like a single beer. She goes, well, should we get a flight? I go, what do you mean? I consider myself a bit of a beer person. I go, what do you mean? She goes, well, let's just try. Which flight do you want? I go, I don't know. So there was a menu for different flights. So if you wanted to have mainly dark beers, you could get like flight number 101. Or if you mainly wanted bitter or high hop beers, you could get flight 102. Or if you mainly wanted like blonde Brussels or lighter colored beers, you would get like flight 103. And I was just like astonished. I mean, I could live there. I mean, it was such a beautiful surrounding. But that's where I learned about the flight of beers. So it's
How
not
much
just
does
a
it cost?
sample.
The flight of beers.
Oh, 5, 10, 15, 5. Let's see,
Five?
maybe 5. No, 5, 10. Maybe like $12 for 5
$12.
beers. $12, maybe $15. Not
Well,
even
anything.
expensive.
Don't you know the first law of physics? Well, anything that's fun costs at least $8. I knew
Yeah,
that.
I guess. No, it
I
was
knew
great
that.
because
I was kind of hoping you would say 7, but now you said 15.
yeah, it was great. It was really good. And also I was going back to Texas and they had all their winter gear. Like I think it was called Full Sail Brewery. And they had all their winter stuff on sale because we were there in the summer. So that meant I could buy Christmas presents. And it was in these gigantic barrels, all these great shirts of Full Sail. David, your
Yeah.
shirt came from a sail barrel. But yeah.
Did you like the episode we made the other day about mermaids? Did you have any
Mermaids.
dreams about mermaids? 'Cause
I had a
did.
nightmare.
Maybe it's just me.
I had a nightmare. I was, of course, I was sleeping when it was very hot outside, and I had the air conditioning on, and I had my, curtains in the back window all boarded up, like drawn closed, and I had somehow like tangled the blanket. I had like a quilt. I had somehow tangled the blanket between my legs, and I just woke up in a panic, feeling like, I'm serious, that there was like a mermaid or a fish or like some weird thing on my leg. It was when I woke up, I startled like, and I even heard myself go, and then I realized because we talked about mermaids and I had seen that weird picture of mermaids that there was a mermaid on my leg. It was horrifying. It was very horrifying. There was a mermaid on my leg. How about you? Are you still there? Well, perhaps he's getting another call. So we just keep talking. People come and people go. We wake up, we go to sleep. It's happy hour. Happy hour's over. Not happy hour. I think we're live. Are you back yet? Well, let's discuss the cover shot. The cover shot shows two men drinking at a bar. It's black and white. And on the right, we see a man with a mustache. He has no tie, and he has a pretty good head of hair. He's also wearing a watch, and he's wiping his brow and appears to be sweating. On the left, we see another man drinking. He's wearing a tie. He looks like he might be balding a little bit. And, so to me, this looks like some guys after work. And then I see that you're back, and I've been talking about the cover shot, describing the guy on the right who's got a mustache, no tie. He's got a good head of hair. The guy on the left is drinking. He is wearing a tie. Looks like he's balding a little bit. And they seem to be kind of opposite sort of guys, but they've met up at this pub or this French bistro. And, they're having a drink. So I see some
They're having
signs.
fun. I think they're having fun.
They are. They are. And
I wish I could
see-
have fun.
You
like
are
them.
having fun. You are having fun.
But I don't have any beers. And fun,
me too.
what they say, fun without beers is like no fun.
Yeah, and also you're at work, so probably you shouldn't be having beer at work. You're supposed to be
Maybe
working.
I should, because it's like corporate slavery. I don't know, when was it? I should put
Invented.
end to it somehow.
You can put an end to it, because if you're drinking on the job, you'll be fired. So you might want to think about that, Run that by.
Yeah, but sometimes the things we do, they don't matter right now. And sometimes they matter later. So you have to care more about later sometimes,
That's true. That's true. I did find out from you that after the mermaid episode yesterday that you either found or purchased a small bottle of vodka. It was a very pretty bottle of vodka. It seemed to be maybe like a 2 shots or something like that. Was that about the size of it?
No, it's just large. I have a large wristwatch. That's why you thought the vodka was small.
So it's like a huge wristwatch.
Yeah.
Well,
Wouldn't
Well,
that be
did
like? Do you remember that paintings where the apple is inside the room and huge as huge as the room, and that gives me nightmares.
yes, that was the Magritte episode, maybe a month or two ago, back on Petroma Therapy. And only thing I have to say is that size matters. Moving right along on the
It
left.
does. It does. No. Let's stay on it a little bit. Why would we want to move that fast?
Because
Tell me more
that's a
about
reference.
size and why it
No, you
matters.
can't- No, you can't talk about size matters. You already told me we
What?
can't talk about it.
Why?
On you, the censors are listening.
They are evil. But then again, without evil, there could be no good. So it must be good to be evil sometimes. So let them listen.
Let them listen. Let them subscribe. Let the censors subscribe. Those senseless censors.
Selfish.
Yes. Well, I noticed on the left side of the photo that's on our cover shot are some words, and one of the words is sandwiches. And I don't know, it seems like about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we made an episode about sandwiches. And then I began to feel like I was having deja vu, like I was in a dream and it was a nightmare and you were in it. You were talking and we were talking about sandwiches. It was so weird when I saw the word sandwiches. Do you see the word sandwiches to the left?
No, there is no word sandwiches to the left.
Yes, there is. You just don't have the picture. You have to.
Could we be entire universes? And in your universe, you have this word up top, but I don't.
No, you've got it there. You're just not paying attention.
There is no word to the left.
Okay,
I'm looking
on
at
the
it right
left.
now.
Okay, you're not looking at it. You are looking, but you are not seeing. I want you just to slow down. There is a very blurred reflection on a tiny mirror of glass to the left. Very tiny, very blurred. And you're going to see at the bottom the word sandwiches. And then you're also going to see another word, choucroute. So I believe that the photograph is from France because there's some French words there, but sometimes people just use French words to kind of decorate places. But I know that in French, the word chou, chou, is pronounced the same as English shoe. Chou means cabbage, like mon petit chou-fleur means my little cabbage, my little cabbage. So if you had a French girlfriend and you said mon petit chou-fleur, she would think you are like super amazing. So those of you who are our subscribers who are thinking of getting a French girlfriend, you might want to try that out. But chou actually means cabbage. And Krut in German means kraut. So cabbage kraut is actually a kind of dish that is served in Alsace, France, where France is on the border with Germany, and it means sauerkraut. Are you with me now? Sauerkraut.
Yeah, I know what that means. I just realized that there's a lot of painful times in life.
Yeah, yes, there are like trying to.
I'm looking at them. Yeah, I see that word. I wonder why didn't I notice that before? I look at this man drinking beer, having fun. Well, at least that's what I thought. And I think, well, I like to drink beer too. I would love to have beer next to me right now. But okay, I have a drink once in a while. Also, I don't have to, because when I start drink, I drink to excess. But then again, have a drink, have two, right? Because if you try to avoid something you like you devote your whole life to completely avoiding something you like, then that beer, that thing that I'm trying to avoid, still controls my life, and I won't be able to learn any discipline at all because that thing controls me either way. Does that make any sense? Because
No, that is very, very astute of you to say that, because
if you were a therapist, how would that make you feel?
I am a therapist. I'm going to tell you, addiction is something that instead of you do the addiction does you. So, for example, let's suppose, I believe, in my experience, has been that addictions come from emotional pain, and we do something to cover the emotional pain. So some people are alcoholics, some people are drug addicts, some people are sex addicts, some people are workaholics, some people are have shopping addictions. So I had a friend whose daughter was we both lived in Houston. My daughter was up in New York. Her daughter was in New York. Hope she's not listening. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyhow, this friend that I once knew in a different city had a daughter who had a shopping addiction. And, she would order, $5,000-$6,000 worth of purses in one night. And, I think we've all known people that drink too much or take too many drugs or whatever it is. And the thing is, if you take away the one thing, it'll be replaced by something else. So let's suppose you love to drink and you drink to excess. You're right.
Because I am like all or nothing. Maybe I'm just the kind of person who needs to have it all, right? I'm not saying it's a good thing. Because you drink
Well,
responsibly, unlike me. You have discipline, and discipline comes from within, which I don't have.
well, I mean, I also had a lot of people that have died, so that like gives me an edge. I've known a lot of people that have died of addictions or suicide or falling off a train or leaping off a bridge while drunk or having to have their legs cut off because they drank too much. Like I know you don't like to talk about your legs being cut off, but you know, if we take away
You know what
the
you've just said,
drinking,
it made me sad again. What you
I
have
know,
just said, it made me sad again. But at the same time, I'm really happy that something made me feel that sad. Go figure.
yeah,
It makes me feel alive. You know.
well, you know, I have two brothers, and you know, we traveled the whole world. We were leaving all the time. So we were sad, we were lonely. There was alcohol all over the place. We were in foreign countries. I was away at school. Like the whole family grew up like completely messed up all over the whole world. And you know, one of my brothers studied like astrophysics and architecture at the university. And my other brother did not go to the university, but he's absolutely brilliant. He's like so smart and so charming. And these are the sons of my father, who was also had I mean, he didn't have a drinking problem. He just he just had a drinking problem. But they say there's high class alcoholics and there's low class alcoholics and there's people in between. And there's all different kinds of people that drink. Like some people can drink and still be hilarious. I mean, David Anton has a cousin, Eric, who's absolutely hilarious when he drinks. I mean, we can stay up for hours just drinking nonstop and talk about philosophy and like, childhood memories and about the Indians in the American West. And there's other people that drink, they have like two Cosmos and they fall down on the dance floor. I mean, the problem is our emotional pain is part of who we are. I mean, I'm a writer. I write all the time. I'm like always writing. Like when I die, I want them to be sure to put a pen in the coffin in case there's any last minute notes I want to put down. I'm kind of joking, but not really.
Yeah. The American way. You're kind of joking, but not really. It's the American way. I learned that a long time ago.
Explain that.
Well, I know what that means, but when you ask me to explain that, I can do that. But
oh, you mean like I'm trying to play it off as if it's really funny, but it's really not?
Well, now I'm confused.
Well, I mean, I was just startled because you have lived in the United States and you've stayed with some American families and you've worked with Americans. And I don't know. I mean, I think that emotional pain is something that it transcends all cultures. You can be in Mexico, you can be in Germany, you can be like we have all lost. We've lost homes, we've lost jobs, we've lost loved ones, we've lost money. And you do
love.
something.
Yes. I remember I've lost my first love, but it seemed at the time that like the only love I would ever had. But trust me, it wasn't. And I had so much life ahead of me, but I only realized it just now, and that made me sad again. But then again, as I said, I'm really happy that something made me feel that sad because it makes me feel alive, makes me feel human.
Yeah, I mean,
what is it? I mean, anything. What does make you feel human?
Well, there's something that made me feel just right there with your sadness. I found out about 2 years ago that my first love, he had a twin. And one of my roommates in college married one boy, and I had a relationship with the other one. I found out that he died, that they both had died. And like, I never, like, even though I'm an adult now and I've got children of my own and I work and I'm alive and whatever, I'm an adult. You know, you never think that your first love will ever die because I think of myself as that young girl that was like wading in the river and wearing, you know, a purple and white bikini and, you know, just, I don't, you just never think that, I just never thought that person would ever die. And it like really hit me hard. And then in Dallas, there was a bartender that I was very fond of, a very wonderful young lady named Sarah. She died. And then there was somebody else that like died. And like all three of them died. And it was like really sad Christmas. But you know, the thing about our memories is that in our memories, we stay young, right? Like, aren't you still that young man that fell in love with that girl?
Biologically, or I don't know how to call that, spiritual, I feel like I'm 25, 27 maybe. There isn't much different, you know, what I felt 25 years ago. But then again, it's not biologically, is it? Because biologically, I'm 50. But my internal age, or what they call it, that thing that maybe that's my soul, and the soul doesn't get old, and that's why I feel the same as I felt pretty much. I feel pretty much the same as I felt 25 years ago. So I think I stuck somewhere in the year, at the age of 25, 27, 28 maybe. Yeah, it does feel me. It does make me feel young. I'll define young. Yeah.
I have also, like if we look at the cover shot again, you'll see the two men drinking. You know, they could be thinking about the past. They could be musing about the future. They could be thinking of going home to their wives. They could be thinking about going to meet with somebody else. I like the picture because when people drink, you know, they're in their mind, they're kind of going different places. But I had heard or somehow discovered that, like, we have these various traumatic things that happen to us in our life. And I'm kind of frozen at this one age of some traumatic stuff that happened to me. And that's why I like guys that are that age. Like, I started thinking about some of the different people I hang out with and do things with, and like, why were they all about the same? Why were they mainly all about the same age? You know, just, you know, either friends online or like friends in Dallas or friends in Houston. I mean, I've taught adults my whole life. I've been, you know, in the classroom, but I'm saying the people I spend my time with, I am in what's called arrested development. Like, my body, you know, is no longer the 23-year-old. It's no longer the 33-year-old or the 43-year-old. But I'm saying I'm kind of in arrested development about something that happened to me when I was about like 43, 44, 45.
You know, I think that by we, I mean you and me, we drink more than other people.
We drink more than other people?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
We drink more? Oh, hell no. No, you need to come to Dallas. There's professional drinkers here. No, I'm saying it's summertime. Okay, I drink for the aesthetics. Like, I have a beautiful glass.
Why do people drink at all? You said you drink for aesthetics, but being recovering alcoholic, I mean me, I drink because it feels good and it's fun. But then again, I had a little bit too much yesterday, and it's not fun, and it doesn't feel good.
Right.
But the other day it was, and yeah.
Well, you know, I mean,
I regret how far I let it go.
Well, as long as you didn't hurt yourself or anybody else, it's probably okay. I mean, you didn't hurt yourself. You didn't fall down.
I did in a way. In a way.
You fell down?
No, but I hurt myself. Mm-hmm.
By not keeping your promises to yourself.
No, I don't keep any promises ever. Not to myself only, just
to anyone.
Loosening up. Yeah, loosening up, I think, is the only reason I drink. because I'm
Well,
anxious. I always have anxiety, and it's not even funny. So if I
no, but yeah, no, I hear you. And like in the photo of the cover shot, you'll see one guy has his tie on, but it's a little bit loose, and the other guy's taken his tie off, and it's probably just like thrown on the table there someplace. And I can relate to like what they call happy hour because there's like Dallas is a big drinking city, big lots of clubs and bars and beautiful patios and swimming pool parties and swimming pools on the roof and swimming pools at people's houses, and people will just go out and buy cases and cases of beer and vodka and whiskey. And like I had mentioned to you that there's this really great little place called the Sundowner Granada, and they are having like half price whiskey and scotches, and they're showing movies up on the roof. So like, why would you stay home? Why don't you just go out and drink half price, scotch and whiskey, and someone else can bring it to you in a pretty glass? I mean, for me, I like all my beautiful things. Like I have beautiful glasses from Germany and beautiful teacups from Turkey. And so when I'm drinking, I love glasses and I love spoons and I love coasters. And like, to me, the aesthetic of drinking is probably first. And then I always talk too much. So, getting a buzz is okay. That's good. But I mean, people drink a lot. People drink a lot in Dallas and in Portland and in Brooklyn and in Manhattan and in Houston. They drink a lot. And some people are vodka people, and some people are like my friend David.
I've learned something today.
What?
Sounds gravy.
What is it?
What I've learned?
Yeah, what did you learn?
I'm stunned.
Well, that's good.
Follow your dreams.
Yeah. We're not getting any younger. No, if you want to bungee jump off a bridge, like be sure the bungee company's got it tied up well. Or if you want to like write music, or if you want to go hiking, up in Colorado.
No, I wanna jump, but not bungee. Without bungee, jump off the bridge.
Well, they do that some places. In Acapulco, they have these young boys that dive off the cliffs straight into the beautiful water. It's fabulous. I mean, some of these things that happened to me when I was younger formed these images of my mind about what a man should be. Like, he should be able to like carry a woman up to the top of a pyramid, like an Aztec pyramid, or he should be able to like jump off of a cliff and dive into the water. Like, yeah, I mean, there must be some place. I mean, in the worst case, you could go to a swimming pool and like just dive into the swimming pool, because you could like hit your head on the side of the pool.
Yeah, I thought you would say it's awful because the jumping off the cliff without the bungee would be a suicide. But you said, no, some people do that in many places. And I thought, no, well, here it goes. But you said, no, it's totally safe.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about it. This other friend of mine lost her phone. And I go, well, how did you do that? She goes, well, I was at the swimming pool. I go, what did you do? I mean, like, I don't know, maybe she was like playing volleyball in the swimming pool and wanted to talk on her phone, and somebody threw her phone and she dropped it in the water. Like, Dallas is a crazy place, but jumping off into the water, well, I mean, the movie Staying Alive with this, John Travolta, and it's, has the Bee Gees singing the soundtrack. I was traveling across the Brooklyn Bridge with my daughter and son-in-law. We were going from Manhattan into Brooklyn. I've seen that movie. I know that music. I know the dancing. And all of a sudden, my daughter like leans. I think my son-in-law was driving and my daughter was in the front seat, and she kind of like leaned back. She goes, oh, by the way, this is where they shot, Staying Alive. Then suddenly I realized I was on the bridge where the guy jumps to his death off that bridge. And a lot of people, and in Dallas, they do that a lot, like these big overpasses. A lot of people that want to kill themselves, they'll get up on a bridge and just jump onto like an 18-wheeler. I mean, I don't mean to be grim, but you are not alone.
Did you know that John Travolta is into Scientology? I don't have a problem with it. Just making a note.
Yeah, I also saw some weird thing that he has recently come out as gay, so you never can tell if it's real or if it's some kind of hype or whatever. But yeah, he's still a pretty good dancer. I don't know. I mean, I know that both of my brothers used to dive. Like when we were growing up, I remember this one swimming pool and they had a high dive, and then they had a short dive, and then a low board, and then they had a slide. I would dive off the low board, but my brothers always would climb the ladder really, really high and jump and do like spins and cannonballs and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if men are different from women or what, but I just remember them as young boys, like maybe 8 or 12 years old, just climbing up the high dive, and they just loved it. They just loved diving from the high dive. I mean, I think that diving, like you think of the expression dive into life, or let's go to a dive bar, like, or dive in. Kind of wonder what we're going to do today. Episode is over.
I'm thinking, should I dive off the cliff? I mean, seriously. But there are no cliff nearby. But there are top buildings. Look at the bright side.
No,
seriously, it's funny because the wall in my office built skyscrapers. So you have high risers in your place too. And when there is there is no wall. It's just basically some kind of a glass. And when you stand at the edge, and look down from 50th floor, it looked okay because there's a glass between you and whatever it is in front of you. But when there is no glass, when the building is under construction, for instance, sometimes I go up to the 50th or somehow real high, and I come real close to the edge, and there is no glass, and just me and the wind. And it's really scary. But then again, that's what makes me feel human. Scary things.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I do that every night.
No. No, I don't know. I mean, like, I know that the Grand Canyon, when I went there, I've been to the Grand Canyon several times. I had a sister that lived out in Flagstaff, Arizona, or New Mexico. I forget where, Flagstaff, Arizona. And I have heard that they've built this walkway made out of glass where you can walk out over the walkway, and it's like you're standing on nothing. Like, I'm afraid of heights, so I can't even ride escalators in an airport. So, I'm not going to join you leaping off the roof. But I don't know, maybe. I mean, we would have to have parachutes, but, with my luck, the parachute might not open. But
you know what you have? The fear of heights. You know what they call it?
Post-traumatic stress.
No. Yeah, I mean, the fear of heights is called acrophobia.
Well, I just know it's a physical sensation. And also I'm afraid of freeways because I've been in some car accidents. But I'm saying I was once at a botanical garden in San Antonio, beautiful, beautiful garden. And my husband said, let's ride the cable cars. And he knows I'm afraid of heights. Yeah, he just used to do stuff like that all the time, like something I really hated. And I just remember I didn't want to go. And I think we had one kid at the time. And I just remember the cable cars would go all around the gardens. And Yeah, I just felt like throwing up the whole time. But yeah, I'm not good with heights. I like to be on the ground. I like trucks. I like Jeeps. I like Jaguars. But
Why? Oh,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I like to be on the
No, some
ground.
fears, I mean, our fears, they all result of some kind of experience we've had, right?
Yes.
But other fears, they're not.
What other fears are not?
I have many fears. I'm thinking, how can I help you to get over the fear of heights?
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going there.
Well,
So
not
one
now,
is,
but
okay, if we go to the Hermitage, I'll do whatever you say.
no, I'm saying that I'm really interested in flying, but scared of heights. I don't know
No,
how
I
to
mean,
get over it. Maybe
no.
help you. Help me to help you.
Well, that's why we're in therapy. I just know that one daughter was accepted to medical school. She is my pride and joy. Accepted to medical school. And she tells me that well, first of all, whenever she asks for my lasagna recipe, I know she's serious about a guy. So she calls me and asks for my Italian lasagna recipe. So I figure, oh no, who could it be this time? Because, we worry about our children. I do. And then she told me this guy invented supposedly he invented the green. She told me he was an inventor. And I think I already told you the story. His father was the vice president of Kellogg, like all the Kellogg cereals, cornflakes and Cheerios, like all Rice Krispies. Dude's father was the vice president of Kellogg and asked Martin one day when Martin was about 8, what do you think the next color for Fruit Loops should be? And Martin said, green. And my daughter is telling me that she's going to date this guy who is an inventor. And the only thing that kid did is he was 8 years old and just said the word green. Anyhow, this guy is going to take my daughter up flying, and he's only had 3 effing lessons. I want to go strangle this guy, but I'm a pacifist. And I did not strangle him. I just got my prayer friends together and asked for them to send reasons for them to break up. I don't like people to take something that's special of mine up into an airplane and be irresponsible. But I fly myself. I've flown a lot. I fly all the time. I'm not afraid to fly. She was also into bungee jumping off bridges. That girl does so many dangerous things. So good that I don't even know what they are. Most of them are. I mean, I even know what some of them are. It's like frightening. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're going to be bungee jumping. You're afraid of so many other things. What else is there? You're afraid of mermaids. You're afraid of fish tanks. You're afraid of spiders. What else are you afraid of?
I'm not afraid of spiders. I love spiders. That wasn't me. You confused me with one of your friends, perhaps. But I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking of that sentence, which really freaks me out. Help me to help you. That's what like FBI investigators tell you before they put you in jail.
Well, to me, that sounds like some kind of bullshit a guy would tell me at a bar.
Oh, that's
About
like
why
that in no way, but
yeah, it is. It's like what they say right before they want you to go get in their truck with them.
some creeps. Because no one told me that ever in a bar. So,
Because you're a man.
yeah,
Help me.
that.
I mean, help me.
They probably have secret reasons when they said that to you.
It wasn't secret. It wasn't secret at all. Because I knew what they wanted. No, I don't know. Help me to help you. Like, that's a bunch of verbal nonsense. I'm just saying that if you told me, help me to help you, I would say, I gotta go.
Like I feel worthless. So if I feel worthless, do you think I could like help other people so they don't feel the same way about themselves?
Yes,
Would that make me feel better about myself?
that would make you a very, very good therapist, because one of the things that I had read when I was sort of studying maybe to be a therapist is it's called the wounded healer. Wounded means you've suffered some sadness or trauma, and you're now going to help other people because you've been there. And, in the organization Alcoholics Anonymous, you have a sponsor who's been through it all, or, some of the, sex addictions therapists have gone through that, or some of the recovering shopaholics or whatever or like pornography addiction. Like I've seen workshops where you can go and sit and discuss your addiction to pornography. And the idea of a wounded healer means somebody who acknowledges that they've been there, and now they're going to have a group, or they're going to have a discussion, or they're going to have something. I think that you would be a very good therapist.
Yeah, I just want people to like me so that I don't have to take care of myself.
Oh, that would make a good therapist, and they just pay you.
Also, I secretly like being a nice person, but don't tell anyone.
I know that about you.
My secret is safe with you, I'm sure.
Yes, it is safe with me, with Michael, with Mark. It's safe with Lydia. It's safe with Austin. It's safe with David Anton, and
everyone we helped today will eventually be our slaves in the underworld.
No, we are not going to the underworld. No, we are not going to end the episode there. Do you know that movie, The City of Angels?
No, I've seen the Sin City. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Sin City as a...
Who's in it?
It's not a movie. It's more of Bruce Willis in it.
Yes.
It's not a movie. It's kind of cartoon, half cartoon. I don't know how to do that. It's half of a movie and half of a cartoon. You didn't see that?
It's some animated, partially animated.
Oh, yeah, sometimes, but there's Bruce Willis in it, and he's not animated. He's himself.
He's himself.
Also, there are many other people. It's just that the one I'm not good at names. I don't even remember what your name is or mine. So I just
because we have so many different names. I'm Sahara Willow. I'm Texas Wisdom. You are Mermaid Sapphire. You are Aquila Viking.
Yeah, it's so confusing. I mean, numbers are much better than names, right?
But what number are you?
What number would you pick?
Oh, 5, 15, or 7. I would suggest get those lotto numbers, something that has a 5 or a 15 or a 7. Do you like to gamble?
Well, that's an addiction, you know.
Do you like to gamble?
Yeah, I think that's where we wrap our episode, because
we're laughing.
Yeah, because we're laughing.